Alrighty, folks, once again, we had to pull an audible this morning. My computer and daily setup for the daily financial news is not operating this morning. In fact, it's not even turning on, which is probably a bigger problem that I'll have to address here shortly. But let's get into it. This is the daily financial news. We need to talk about pending home sales. We need to talk about Patrick Bet David or PBD making some moves. I want to talk about unemployment claims, durable goods, all things. But first, I want to talk about something that's important to me. Over the last several weeks or months, you have heard me talk about potentially growing the middle class. If you happen to catch the discussion with the uneducated economist, you know that we pivoted that discussion to growing the investor class. I want to admit to you that neither one of those felt perfect or right. But after having a conversation with my network, shout out Matt and Dion, we are now, or at least I am comfortable saying, what we're trying to do here at One Rental at a Time is free the middle class. One of the things that's important for me is for everyone to know that they have an option to move forward, right? They have an option to buy assets. They have the option to get wealthy over time. And really, during that conversation, we think about the middle class. What does the middle class have? A job, right? You have a W-2, a job. So what are the things that we could do here at One Rental at a Time that will help you eventually not have to have that job? Now, of course, you can choose to have that job. You could choose to have a different job. You could choose to do whatever the heck you want. So that is now my goal. What we are trying to do here at One Rental at a Time is free the middle class. And perhaps we could call this new class, not the lower class, not the middle class, not the upper class, shoot, not even the investor class. We are going to call it the freedom class. You have the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want. So let me know what you think. I think this is the goal that I'm now comfortable saying. It's a goal I am comfortable working on for 50 years. So we're going to talk about how to free the middle class going forward. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about pending home sales. We are a real estate channel after all. What the heck is going on in the housing market? If you remember last month, the pending home sales were down 5.5%. It was really the sign that my call for existing home sales breaking to the low would be accurate, which we got. This month, it was expected to grow 1%. It only grew 0.6%. Again, that is down 4.3% year on year. And again, folks, if you're new to the channel, I'm having to use a wired microphone this morning, so the sound quality is probably not as good as usual because I had to go to a plan B so that I can get this live done this morning, as my computer is still not turning on, which I don't know why. So pending home sales down year on year 4.3. They're up month on month 0.6. Expectations were 1%, so a little bit less than expected. Also this morning, we got the unemployment claims, weekly unemployment claims. The number one metric any kind of closet economist should be looking at is weekly unemployment claims. If we are going to get that big jump in unemployment, like so many people are calling for, it would first show up in weekly unemployment claims. Again, last week, we shot lower to 219,000. Expectations this week for that to go up to 224. Well, folks, we went even lower. Yes, folks, unemployment claims for the week came in at 218. We had been baselining around 230 to 235 for quite a while. This is the second week, and dare I say, a small trend lower. Again, this is something we should be watching every week. This could change in a heartbeat, and we will need to pay attention to that. We also got durable goods. Remember, durable goods are things that last generally 3 years or longer. You can think inside your house, your refrigerator, your washer, dryer, things of that nature. Durable goods, again, last month were down 9.9%. Oh, I'm sorry, they were up 9.9%. We were expected to have some give back because, again, kind of the top line or headline number includes aircraft, aka transportation. This month was expected to come in at negative 2.8%, so a significant fall off. Actually came in at 0. So again, better than expected. Core, ex aircraft was actually negative 0.1 last month. Expectations were to be slightly positive at 0.1. Again, much better than expected, coming in at 0.5%. So again, unemployment claims better, durable goods better. Finally, we got Q2 GDP final. Looks like they're going to put in the history books GDP for Q2 2024 was 3%. GDP now, I think, is still forecasting 2.9%. Now we have the real estate industry kicking in because we've seen mortgage, we've seen more activity. Could this soft landing come to be? Again, it will go down in the history books as probably the longest rolling recession. I'm thinking it might be 6, might be 8 quarters long, but we might just be coming out of this rolling recession. Want to shout out Patrick Bet David, aka PBD. He just dropped $25 million on a bankruptcy sale. Looks like PBD just picked up an office building and airport or airplane hangar in Broward County. He picked this up for about $25 million. So it looks like PBD and Valuetainment is making some moves. Likely an office building for Valuetainment, airplane hangar. Who knows what he might do there? Stores aircraft, maybe. Maybe he'll host events there. I have no idea. But again, PBD is making some moves. It's really, really interesting to see individual media brands take off, right? Most of us likely know about, obviously know about Mr. Beast and all he's done with YouTube. Now you have folks like Patrick Bet David spinning up a media company, which should give all of us encouragement. We can just be a slight sliver of what is going on with Valuetainment. And my computer is still not turning on. Hold on. Control, Alt, Delete. What the heck is going on? Very frustrating this morning because, as you know, I have interviews at 7:30, 8, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30. This computer's got to work. Very frustrating. All right, I digress. Let's talk about what is coming up. Again, we are still trying to figure out what is going on in the economy. We did get a 50 basis point cut. It's old news. But what is next? Was it done because there was acknowledgement they were late? I've heard a lot of people say they should have cut in July, and this was just a makeup for July. I don't know about that, but maybe. Was this just an aggressive move to get back to the neutral rate? Maybe. Was this to help or increase the odds of a soft landing? Again, the soft landing, if you go back to look at history, every, kind of incoming, soft or hard landing always is called soft. And then, history says they go hard after that. Is this just the banking crisis in commercial real estate? Is it because the unemployment is supposed to shoot higher? Again, remember, in the Fed's call, it's only going to go to 4.4. These are things that I think about. I think about a lot. And again, I want to be on record. I do believe we are going to get a second 50 on November 7th, which I think is the day after the election. We could be on a significant rate cutting cycle. Remember, this is important. I do not believe mortgage rates will shoot lower. I believe what we are seeing is a yield steepening. I believe what will happen is the short end will come in. The long end will stay at or near where it is today. That is called a steepening, as opposed to an inversion, which we have had the last couple of years. So, and I think this is a very, very important question. Ryan Pineda, somebody I watch and follow and friends with, just did a video on his forecast for 2025 real estate. And if you happen to watch that video, it really anchors on interest rates. I believe that is exactly what you should be thinking about if you're in real estate. If you think interest rates in 2025 will go sub 5%, you will act one way. If you think interest rates will be 6%, you will act a different way. Again, if you get interest rates below 5%, you could unlock the move-up buyer. You could unlock a lot of transactions. It is probably a hope of the real estate industry that we get rates below 5. I personally hope we stay at 6. I think we need to fix the housing market And as I've said for years now, the best way to fix the housing market is time. We need time for wage increases. We need time for affordability to slowly get better. We can't go into another manic real estate market with interest rates at 4.5%, inventory flying off the shelf. That could lead to some pretty destructive price increases and frankly take us to an unaffordability level we don't want to see. So when you hear people talking about 2025 in their forecast, definitely think interest rates. Again, folks, for those watching, I know the sound quality and all that's very different than normal. My computer is not working. It's still not working. It's making me a little bit nervous at this point, frankly. But we will keep moving forward because it's important to bring you the news. I want to talk about a question that I posed in school. This was an important question for school. I want to shout out Jason. Jason joined school yesterday, so thank you very much, buddy. Introduce yourself, interact, all of that great stuff. But here's a question for you, my YouTube family. What are your goals? What's your number one money goal for the next 6 to 12 months? Let me know in the comments below. Here are some samples I have heard. I want to build an emergency fund. I want to build a reserve fund for real estate. I want to build up my down payment money for my next or first property. I want to find and or create a buy box. I want to write some great offers and follow up. I want to buy my first or next deal. I want to quit my W-2, aka retire. There could be some other goals. I want to hear from you. What are some of your money goals for the next 6 to 12 months? If we're going to talk about freeing the middle class, it is important to talk about money. It is important to get over the phobia. So again, we are going to be talking about money. I do think it is very odd. There's something that I'm starting to think about. I think there is a loud minority out there. I generally call them doomers or crash bros. I am starting to think that these folks are less than 1% of the population, but they might produce 80% of the content. What am I talking about? Well, there's a Twitter handle called TikTok. This individual has 200,000 followers. This individual has called for a 40% decline in housing in 2025. Folks, if you know anything about the Great Recession, the largest national home price decline was almost 9%. The chances of us getting something worse in 2025 are slim. The chances of us getting something 4 times worse in a single year are unheard of. Can you imagine the government programs that would come out even if housing was down 10% in a year? So it has come to my opinion that the doomers know what they are doing. They have created content. They continually create content to grow their following. Doomers only want to get paid. Doomers don't care about accuracy. They don't care about being good people. They are simply slime balls that are trying to jump in your brain and jump on that fear scale. I cannot believe there is somebody that has amassed 200,000 followers that produces garbage like a 40% decline in real estate in 1 year. Now, to be clear, if somewhere we're going to say, Michael, I think we're going to have a 40% decline in real estate over 5 years, while I disagree, I think that is a conversation worth having. You see, real estate is sticky. It has something called price elasticity. You have the notion now that the government can get involved with forbearance and workouts and seconds and 40 years. And we should know the drill by now. Stimulus, all of those things. So again, it is something that I've now come to believe. 1% of the population has decided to produce doom or fear porn. They are amassing huge followings, so they will continue to create fear or doom porn. The only thing we could do, the only thing the quiet or the silent majority could do is stop watching. Block them. One of the biggest joys over the last 6 to 8 weeks for me is when I look at my YouTube analytics, not a single doomer channel is in the top 15. You have no idea how happy that makes me, the fact that my audience has blocked or not watching doomers. But we need to encourage others to stop the madness. Folks, again, remember inside school, we have 3 accountability groups. The accountability group yesterday ran 2.5 hours. Shout out old guy REI. We talked about, you actually invited the CEO of a property management company called Himlane to talk about mom and pop landlords, how you can advertise, how you can communicate with tenants, run the books. I think it is awesome that the accountability group is bringing in outside experts to talk to them. So shout out Frank and Dana from Himlane. They talked about couples investing in real estate together. And they even did something really cool. They talked about a bathtub reglazing, kind of the ins and outs of reglazing a bathtub. Folks, we talk about real stuff in these accountability groups. We got one on Wednesday. We got one on Sunday. And if we're an early bird, we got one Monday morning. You got to join school. Find the one that works best for you. You got all of these boot camps and buy box and all of this long list of specific interviews. Go to the classroom section, look for special guests. 50 hours or so of content for you there. So again, folks, last thing we will point out again is the market is calling for 75 basis points in cut. Same as me. I'm calling for 50 in November, 25 in December. But again, do not expect mortgage rates to decline. I think they will be rather sticky as we go from inversion to steepening, where the short end is lower and lower compared to the long end. All right, folks, my computer is still not working, which freaks me out because I have an interview at 7:30. So I'm going to get on it. Sorry for the quality of this sound, but I wanted to get it done for you because it's important to be consistent. Join school. Again, Jason, thank you for joining school. I'd like to see the community grow. We are number 4. I'm looking to become the #1 real estate investing school. So join, interact. I'll see you there.